Have you ever, like, put on something and it just instantly made you grin? Or, even better, maybe made someone else actually laugh out loud. Today we're doing a deep dive into the world of funny graphic tees, which, sounds simple, but they're surprisingly powerful. We're talking connection, personal expression. These things are making a real splash in 2025. And our main source here is this guide, Unleash Your Inner Comedian, the ultimate guide to funny graphic tees from Pencil Pulse Fashion. So our mission really is to figure out how these simple shirts might just be the secret weapon your wardrobe has been missing. We want to get beyond just the surface laughs, find those surprising insights.
Yeah, and it's fascinating, isn't it, how humor, which we sometimes maybe don't think about much day to day, gets such a clear voice through, fashion. It's nonverbal communication at its core. And if you think bigger picture, wearing something funny, it can be this small act of rebellion almost. A pushback against all the seriousness out there. It's like choosing to inject a bit of lightness. And honestly, that can genuinely make your day better and maybe even the day of people around you. So it kind of raises this interesting point. It's not just about the shirt itself, but what wearing it actually does, for you and for your interactions.
Okay, let's dig into that. The source guide jumps right in saying these tees are amazing conversation starters. And I was thinking, yeah, but why? Like, what makes them work so much better than, say, just commenting on the weather? What's the secret ingredient?
That's a really good question because the guide, it stresses it's not just any old funny shirt. It's got to have some quality, some cleverness to the design. Witty wordplay, maybe a sharp pop culture reference, something that shows you put a bit of thought into it. And that distinction is key, right? It lifts the shirt from just being closing to being a statement that kind of invites a specific type of chat. It acts like a little filter almost, pulls in people who already get your sense of humor. So you get this instant, easy connection.
Right, like that idea you mentioned of the wait for it kind of laugh, the delayed reaction. It suggests there's something smarter going on than just a quick gag. Does the source talk about how that works, like in our brains?
It does, yeah. It calls it cognitive disequilibrium. Basically, your brain hits something unexpected, processes it, and then boom, laughter is the resolution. Like, there's this anecdote in the guide about a shirt that says, jokes, well, that's not a good sign. Apparently, it made this usually super serious uncle just snort his drink at a family gathering. That unexpected twist, it creates this shared moment, a shared little aha. And that's incredibly bonding.
That is powerful, like social currency almost. The guide talks about this guy, Jake. He claims his collection of clever T-shirts has gotten him more phone numbers than dating apps. Seriously, just because people walk up to him and talk about the shirts, that's social capital right there, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And it's more than just like getting a number. It's about starting a connection based on actual shared amusement, which, often leads to better conversations down the line. And it's not just about meeting new people either. Think about the Dad Jokes XP loading shirt mentioned in the guide. Perfect for dads maybe still using jokes from, 2005. It's like a signal to a whole community celebrating that specific, maybe slightly cringy dad joke vibe. Creates instant recognition for anyone who gets it or, puts up with it.
Huh. Yeah, that really shows how humor can zero in on specific groups and shared experiences. It's pretty cool how wearing humor can create that instant "you're one of us" feeling. Like I was born a long time ago, the guide calls it a secret handshake for sci-fi fans. And this teacher, Sarah, uses it to spot the movie buffs among your students. Creates this cool cross-generational link. It's like a whole language without words.
Exactly. It just cuts through the usual social awkwardness. And building on that connection idea, the guide points out something even more, maybe surprising. These shirts can be total game changers for people who find small talk, really difficult.
Oh, interesting. How does that work?
So, take the example of the T-Rex, how about this weather? Shirt. It's funny, right? Dinosaurs plus awkward chat. Apparently, it helps someone who's usually really shy break the ice easily at networking things. The shirt is the joke. It does the heavy lifting, which then lets a real conversation happen. It's like perfect self-aware humor. Turns that social awkwardness into a connection point.
So it's not just about how it affects your social life, but also what it does for you, inside. The guide mentions humor being a serious mood booster.
Yes, exactly. Beyond the social stuff, there's this internal benefit. Humor as a mood lifter. The guide frames putting on a funny shirt as a kind of small act of rebellion against life's seriousness. And that's not just about feeling good for a second. It's about actively choosing a little dose of joy. Like a psychological stand against the daily grind. It's self-care through self-expression, really.
I totally see that. Like the cat T-shirt that says, "I don't like morning people." or mornings
Right.
or people. It's basically the uniform for anyone who's ever scowled at someone before 9 a.m. This person wears it to early gym sessions, and it's like an explanation and an apology all in one. Saves them from having to talk.
Yeah.
It's that universal grumpy morning feeling, but, cute.
And that example brings up another really important point the guide makes: inclusivity. Humor should be for everyone, right? And the source points out that funny doesn't, or shouldn't, stop at size XL. We're finally seeing more size-inclusive options become available, which is just, well, it's a huge step forward. A friend of mine, Alicia, she wears a 2X, and she used to really struggle. Said finding funny shirts that actually fit well and looked good was so hard. Like, brands just offered shapeless tents with unfunny slogans for bigger sizes.
That's so crucial. Everyone deserves to show off their personality with humor, whatever their size. And the good news, according to the guide, is that more companies are getting it. They're making big and tall, funny tees, like up to 6X even, making sure fit and comfort aren't sacrificed for a laugh. It feels like the industry is finally listening.
And it goes beyond just cotton tees, too. The market's evolved. You see funny full-sleeve shirts now for when it's colder, or even designs that glow in the dark. It shows this growing idea that humor can be part of all sorts of fashion, not just, weekend slobber on clothes.
Which leads perfectly into styling. The guide really pushes back against relegating these tees to lazy day only. It says the key is balance. Pair a funny tee with something more structured, like a blazer or decent jeans. And suddenly it's not lazy, it's intentional, it's a look. I actually have a friend who does this brilliantly. He has funky print shirts for different events, knows his audience. Even subtle humor can peek out from under a cardigan or jacket in some workplaces.
Right, it really highlights the thought that can go into getting dressed. A funny tee can be like a little personality Easter egg people find during the day. And it also shows just how wide the range of humor is now. You've got funny mom life shirts capturing that beautiful chaos.
Yeah.
Or really niche stuff like skateboarding jokes or specific show references like Rick and Morty tees. It lets people find their specific tribe and express those very particular parts of who they are.
It's amazing, isn't it? How one piece of clothing can do all that connect people, say so much. And there's a real business side to this too, obviously. From small indie designers making unique, funny art to the big retailers, the market's just exploded. The guide mentions small boutiques saying funny tees are often their top impulse buys. Even like luxury brands are dipping their toes in, showing style and humor can definitely mix.
Which brings us to thinking about it as a kind of long-term investment. The guide suggests buying a funny shirt isn't just buying clothes, it's investing in future chats, future connections, social capital. There's an example of a colleague who spent maybe $30 on a funny shirt for a conference. And he credits that shirt with helping him meet 3 people who became really close industry contacts. He called it an investment that paid for itself hundreds of times over in networking value. It's using fashion strategically.
Wow, that's a serious return on investment. Not just money, but actual connection.
Exactly.
And beyond the networking, there's still that simple mood boost effect we talked about. In a world that can feel pretty heavy sometimes, choosing to wear something that sparks a little laughter in yourself and maybe others, that feels like a really worthwhile investment in just, feeling good. So wrapping up our journey through the world of funny graphic tees,
Yeah.
it's clear they offer so much more than meets the eye. We've seen their great conversation starters, genuine mood lifters, and just an easy way to show your personality without needing to say anything. Remember Jake getting those phone numbers? Or Sarah the teacher connecting with her students over sci-fi?
Yeah, great examples.
Or that shy person using the T-Rex shirt to navigate networking? Or even Rachel getting that extra mini wine bottle on the plane because of her cat shirt? These aren't just random occurrences. These shirts have real impact, a real ROI on your social life and your mood. So we really hope this deep dive maybe makes you look at your own closet a little differently, and maybe think about adding a bit more humor into your everyday.
Absolutely. And connecting it back to that bigger idea, choosing joy, choosing humor in how you present yourself, that's a deliberate, quite powerful thing to do. Which leaves us with maybe a final thought or question for you listening. What subtle, funny statement could you put on a shirt that wouldn't just brighten your own day, but might spark those unexpected connections or even just shift the energy in a room you walk into? How can humor, literally woven into what you wear, be an intentional choice that reflects how you approach things? Something to think about.